Welcome to our first episode of Squawk Global.
In this episode, we talk with Kelsey and we hear her incredible rescue story with her 28-year-old macaw, Louie. This episode isn't about perfection. It is about resilience, responsibility, and what rescues really look like when they show up unexpectedly.
This episode is a reminder of how choosing a rescue can change two lives forever.
We watched Louie's video on GeoBeats, and a lot of people who are watching this know that we're the parents of Gizmo the Great Bird, who also is a rescue. We rescued him at 16 years old. He was confined to a cage for 16 years of his life, lost the ability to fly, has no muscle. So when we saw your story, Kelsey, and Louie's, it really struck home for us. It felt really close to us.
It did.
We wanted to learn more about you and your story. Did you have parrots prior to Louie?
No, so yes and no. I have a budgie is a parrot, but it's definitely not the same as a macaw. Whenever I was growing up in second grade, I got a budgie named Jeffrey, and he was my best friend. Of course, we didn't know that much about parrot care back then. I think we've come a long way in that space. But I remember getting him at the pet store. They clipped his wings immediately. And as soon as we got home, my mom said, we are never doing that again. So after his first molt, he just flew around the house and I could clap my hands. He would come to me. That was my first parrot experience. And then I didn't have any until now in my 30s.
That's like us. We had zero parrot experience.
Zero parrot experience. It was always a dream. You'd see them on TV. You'd see them in tropical places where they just place them on your shoulder. But never in a million years did we think we would be where we are today with two parrots.
Through that experience, we learned so much about them. We heard your story about rescuing. Tell me a little bit more about Louie's story. Where did he come from? What's his background? A little bit more about that.
Louie hatched in 1997, which would have been the same year that my budgie Jeffrey hatched. So I would have been in second grade.
That's cool.
His leg band said he was from Florida. I'm assuming that's where his breeder was. Somehow he ended up in Kansas. And I believe that he was probably in the same home his whole life. He was owned by a man that kept him and another larger macaw in the same tiny cage. I do think Louie got out of the cage some, or I just don't think he would be as sweet as he is. He's very handleable. I do think he got out some, but I don't think he got out much, proven by the fact that he has permanent contracture of his wings. He just never really could spread them in that cage. So now he physically has 20% range of motion in his wings. He was with him for 26 years, and then that man fell ill and sent his birds to a parrot rescue organization in Kansas. And that is where Louie's next adopter got him. She had him for about 10 months, and she fell on some hard times, ended up homeless. She and Louie were living in her car. She said this was August in Oklahoma, and he is in her car while she's pulling double shifts at work. At that time, I was reaching out to rescues. I had decided I have the time to put into a parrot. I want to rescue. And the local rescue was closed, and I was having a hard time finding any. And then I just came across her Facebook post, and it was some pictures of Louie, and she said, he's very, very cuddly. He's very, very loud, and I need him adopted now, basically. So I messaged her and I said, I would like to meet him. And she said, you're the first person that's actually wanted to meet him. Everybody's just asking, oh, do you think he'd be a good breeder? And she said, I don't want him going to his life. So within an hour, maybe 2 hours of seeing that Facebook post, I have driven an hour away from my home to meet Louie. He stepped right up for me. I was like, he's coming home with me. And he did. And then I took the next day off work and had to get all of the supplies and everything because I had no idea I would be bringing home a bird that day.
With Gizmo, we were not prepared either.
Back then, we were uneducated. We just went to the pet store for our dog and saw a parrot in a cage. And we did the thing that we're dead against now. We were like, oh, it's so cute. And we brought it, and there was no education. They didn't tell us anything about it, what it needs. We brought it home, and that's when we researched and we found out so much goes into owning a parrot and how many get surrendered and get stuck on hard times. That's when we said, we have to rescue now. And we would never, ever advocate for breeding ever again.
In Louie's story, that was already 2 homes. The third of what you know, we found is that most parrots have an average of sometimes 10 households in their lifetime. And that's so much emotional trauma. And it's because of lack of education. One thing that we want to do more of this year is more education, because you show a lot of the behind the scenes of your real life with Louie. We really value that and take our hat off to you for that, because it's important.
It's so important.
And you're doing a phenomenal job with him. Did you see any changes with Louie's personality as he lived with you and started feeling more comfortable?
Yeah, whenever he first came, he warmed up to me so fast. I know this now that I am fostering a second macaw. Louie was probably 2 or 3 days in, he's letting me pet him. That's not the same with my second macaw. Now I'm 3 months in and he just let me pet him today, which was exciting.
Oh,
And,
congrats.
birds may never let you pet them. But 3 days in, he's letting me pet him. He's exploring the house. He is not scared of anything. He was very friendly in the beginning, going to everyone. Then he started bonding to me in particular. I did all my research ahead of time. I really like Bird Tricks YouTube channel. I had watched probably 100 hours of training videos before I got Louie. I was prepared in that way. I knew what I was getting into as far as that goes. I had done all of the research on hormones, preventing any sort of hormonal behavior, not petting inappropriately. But still, Louie sees me every day and only me most days. I was his person pretty quickly. And once I became his person, then he started to be aggressive towards other people. And that's when I was like, nope, this has to be a trained trick to interact with other people. I was inviting people over to my house that had never been to my house before. I'm like, come over and give my bird a treat. I just want all of these good experiences with other humans. Our bond is still strong, but he sees other people as a positive reward now. Still, my boyfriend Alec has to win him over almost every single weekend that he comes. It's gotten a lot better. He was very aggressive towards Alec just because that's who he saw as a threat.
Louie.
Great.
Louie.
There's gas and oil on those.
I know. Come here.
This is a red line.
Now it's gotten much better. It's been a little bit of a roller coaster, but used to whenever he would be aggressive or chase me out of a room or try and bite, I felt broken. I thought, I've broken this bird. I've ruined him. Now I realize birds just do that. They go through phases. They might for a whole week be aggressive or a month.
Yeah.
It's just part of it. And you have to know you have a wild animal living in your home. And it's not always like a cuddly thing. You didn't ruin it. You still have to be careful, but it is what it is. Now I take it a little bit more in stride when things go wrong.
I think that's where people start becoming scared of the bird when it becomes aggressive through hormones. And that's when they're like, I don't want this anymore. Then they surrender it. And that's the problem. If there was more education on this, then I think a lot of people would be like, okay, this is not forever. Gizmo goes through the same thing. And he used to be so aggressive with Kyle. Before I had to rein myself back and let him feed him and be that positive reinforcement for him, that he accepted him too. But that took a long time.
It did. Once he bonded with Emily, they do feel that relationship status in a sense.
Yeah.
Even our vet recently, we were talking about hormones and stuff, and she said, make sure you always do cuddles in front of him to let the bird know, hey, we're friends, you're not my mate, which I thought was a very interesting behavioral thing, but they have so many characteristics to them. There's just so much to them. They're very smart, emotional, and wild is really the key critical thing. They're not domesticated.
No.
They are wild animals, and we can't break that behavior. We have to learn to adapt to their behavior. And I think that's different from other animals, and people need to research that prior going in. Come springtime around where we live, and I'm sure it's common everywhere else, but the marketplace is just filled with found bird, found bird, found bird. Unclaimed owners because of the fact that they're just like, I can't handle you, goodbye. And they assume they're a bird, they can survive. No, they were born in captivity. They don't have that training of being a wild animal, even though they are. It's still a learned trait. Other people need to learn those things.
For sure.
People becoming scared of them and keeping them in their cage. It's such a common story. Half the birds at the rescue where I volunteer, that's their story. Mr. Macaulay is my foster right now. He is 27 and he spent about the last decade in his cage because the bites started getting bad. Somehow they were probably positively reinforced in some way. Even screaming can sometimes be positive reinforcement. It's exciting. He ended up in his cage for 10 years and watching cartoons. What I try to advocate for is, yes, that can happen. Hopefully it doesn't. Hopefully you can work through it, do your research, keep your relationship with your bird. It is scary when you get bitten. I have experienced it, and it does make you think twice about picking them up next time. If you are scared and you know that you can't do it, do rehome them. Do find them a better place to live, because a life in a cage where they can't get out for a decade is not worth living when somebody else might have the knowledge and experience to do better.
100%.
Really good advice.
Yeah.
It's so true. For people listening to this is something we did. We actually hired a trainer, and there's some phenomenal ones. The lady we have is Robin at Parrot SOS. She does online training. She taught me it's about the relationship you have with the parrot. You have to learn what motivates them and have that relationship with them to make it more of a mutual game versus, oh, I need you to step up. That parrot's like, I don't want to. You have to make it, what do they want in return, and make it fun exchange. That's what happened with Gizmo is I wasn't giving him that mutual exchange. I wanted to pick him up and he didn't want me to pick him up until she taught me about go on an adventure with him, but make sure it's motivated with something. Go on a treat run together. And now he steps up for me every single time without question, because when I take him, we go on a little adventure to go find some fun treats together. Now he feels comfortable. And I think some people might be a little bit nervous to find help, or they feel embarrassed, like this animal's controlling me. Reach out to some people. There's people in our communities that are willing to help.
And you can do it all online as well. We thought that she would have to come to our home and work with Gizmo.
No.
But no.
If the training doesn't work, like your advice, do that parrot a justice and give them a chance to have life outside the cage, because that's not fun at all.
No.
Rescuing Louie, has something changed in you as a person?
I've always said my dogs are my babies. They are my children. I love them so much and I'll do anything for them. But then Louie is my best friend. His intelligence level is a little bit higher than my dogs. So we just have a little bit different of a relationship. I am more tied down now. I want to be home. I have to give him all of my time. I was already giving my time and energy towards my dogs, but it has made me even more selfless now. These highly intelligent beings are in my home waiting for me to come home. They want to see me and I have to give that to them. I think it's made me less selfish.
That's a common thing with parrots. People who are looking to get birds, you have to think about your lifestyle as well. That's number one. The people that we got Gizmo from, they said that they didn't go on vacation for 20 years because they had 17 birds. It wasn't easy for somebody to come in and care for them, to find somebody to care for them. They basically were homebound for 20 years of their life. That's a big commitment if that's something you're choosing to do. A macaw, not everybody would be willing to watch your bird for you, right? That's the thing that's challenging.
It's been a challenge. A lot of people want to interact with Louie. They've seen him online, and I'll ask my friends' college-age daughters if they'll pet sit, and they'll see him, and they're like, oh, he's so cute. Yes, I want to. I'm like, okay, well, you have to come over for training first. We're going to discuss. And Louie's easy to handle compared to many other birds. There's this whole training experience. And it's been good. I have 2 pet sitters that I try and rotate back and forth so they can stay on top of their knowledge on how to handle Louie and how to take care of him. But now that I have Mr. Macaulay, who is much less handleable, that's a whole new thing to navigate. And he can be scary. I have to tell them, this is not Louie. Even though you're giving Louie this much respect, Mr. Macaulay deserves this much respect if you want to keep your fingers. I just won't have them handle him, which makes me sad because I'm like, okay, now he's stuck in his cage for however long I'm going to go on vacation. That's a guilt trip. In the end, I think it's better for everyone if everyone stays safe.
If you went on vacation, would you have someone come to your home rather than, I'm the same.
There's really not anywhere I could take them I don't know if my rescue would even board, but if they did, I just feel like I would be exposing them to potential diseases that they haven't been exposed to, even though they came
Exactly.
from a rescue.
My fear is if I was to drop Gizmo off somewhere to board, even if it was another family that knows birds, I wouldn't feel comfortable thinking, oh, they just left me. Now I'm on my own again. That's what worries me more than anything. We have been away, not for long, probably 5 days max.
Mhm.
He always knows we come home. We have adult children that can care for him, and he knows. But I would love a family vacation where we could all go together, but that's
Yeah, the reality of
the
having ferrets.
reality. It
Yeah,
sometimes doesn't happen.
people don't think about it.
I'd love to ask about your social media experience because when you got Louie, were you sharing some clips with him and being like, he's so sweet, I just want to share this casually?
Yes, now that I've shared him so much, I get a lot of comments that are like, hey, I'm in a really dark place and Louie brings me joy. Every day I know that I'm going to get a Louie video and that's going to be my smile of the day. It's just crazy to me. Honestly, it feels like a crime not to share Louie. He brings me so much joy and I think he's adorable. I was sharing him on my personal Instagram account and all my friends are like, oh my gosh, he's so cute, he's so cute. And then I put together his whole story, very roughly put together, and that's when GeoBeats reached out. And then once they did their video and it had a massive response, I was like, okay, he needs his own page because I'm getting a lot of weird people following my personal page.
Yeah.
So that's how that came about.
We know that feeling.
Yep.
We know that feeling too. I wanted to touch base on that comment about people saying they were in a dark place. Somebody asked us recently, do you carry on because you feel pressure from people saying post, post, post? And I said, no. If somebody tells me to do something, I do what I want. But it's the comments like you mentioned about people saying, I'm in a mental health crisis and I didn't know if I could get out of it. But yet just watching Gizmo's content today gave me enough to get out of bed or get out of the house. That was so powerful to us. If we're creating content for that, that was enough for us to carry on. We didn't realize the impact until the comments started coming in. And I'm glad you're seeing the exact same experience.
Yeah, it was pretty surprising to me. We get all the negative comments, all of the weird comments. And so those that reach out with that, it's really special and I really appreciate it. And it makes the negative comments go away. Of course, I still worry. I've gotten this comment a lot and I've had my own thought about it. Oh, you're just posting this cute bird. You're making people want to go buy these cute birds. And that's why I try and do my due diligence. They shouldn't be pets. Please rescue. This is how hard it is. I got bitten today. I try and show all the bad stuff. That bad stuff never goes viral. It's always the cute stuff. There is a little bit of an inner struggle for me with that.
We spoke about it being a double-ended sword because you want to share all the cute, fun moments, but we get comments too saying, oh, I brought a bird because of Gizmo. And I'm just like, oh, don't do that.
Yeah, we've seen in recent articles about parrots on a mass scale being taken from their homes in the wild. The endangered lists are going higher and higher with these poor parrots. It's such a struggle because we want to share this sweet bond that we have. He brings so much joy, yet the sheer thought of now we're creating a rise of this is such a cool pet to have. That's why this year start doing a lot more educational content about the realities of parrots and also rescuing parrots. The rescue centers here are constantly overrun. They run out of funding all the time and they're making do with what they can because there's so many that need homes. The ones that are in captivity, we cannot release them to the wild, so they do need homes. We really have to just stop the people that are breeding, making money. We want to educate people that's not the right move. Please help rescue and adopt.
I actually just did it a couple of days ago. I tried it out doing a little spotlight on one of the birds at the rescues where I volunteer. The rescue where I volunteer, it's been closed since COVID. They moved and then it's been a whole thing with the city trying to get their new building commercially approved. They're full to the brim and they still take birds on. They're so close to getting their final inspection in February. I'm going to start highlighting a few birds and maybe trying to raise some money. We raised a little bit of money for this last bird that's injured, but hey, here's this cute bird, but you could actually have this one. Don't go buy one. There's so many. The lady at the rescue where I volunteer says that her strongest wands have all been with rescues versus babies. She's been dumped with babies that she's had to hand feed, that she didn't buy them. Somebody just had no idea what they were getting into. There's nothing like a rescue bird versus raising one from a baby.
When you get a respect from a bird that has already had some experience and they respect you enough to become family, to me, that's just such an honor.
It is an
Right?
honor.
And people assume, oh, this baby will bond to me more. We have a baby. She has her moments where she's like, nope, you're not my friend today, and I'm going to attack you.
Yeah.
Me and her are so close, and there's some days that she just attacks me for no reason. And these birds are flock members, and once they become part of your flock, you can earn their respect, and they live forever. Louie's 26, you said now?
28 now.
28, wow. People sometimes will assume they're 28, I won't get a lot of time with them. He'll probably still outlive you.
I tell people I have commitment issues and I wanted an old bird, but that's still such a commitment. I still might be looking at 30 years. It gives me anxiety to think that my birds might outlive me. That's why with Mr. Macaulay, give me one of the older birds in case I get super attached and need to keep him. I don't want to have a 2-year-old bird that might live until he's 80.
It's really difficult. We fostered and rehabilitated and rehomed, found some great homes for 3 other birds, and you do get attached. What we've decided is that parrots need a lot of time and attention, and we can't become bird hoarders. I'd love to have every single parrot breed, rescue every single parrot breed, but it doesn't fit into our lifestyle. Gizmo actually doesn't like other birds. He thinks he's human. It's so rewarding to rescue, and I love that you're doing that.
I'm fostering. It could potentially be a foster to adopt situation, but I only want to do something that's going to enrich Louie's life. I don't want his quality of life to go down if I get another bird. And I'm just feeling it out, seeing how it goes. I do feel like some birds really need another bird. I don't think Louie is one of those. I think he's
Yeah.
happy enough with me. Even though he might not be perch mates with another bird, I do think that there is value in having another bird in the room when nobody else is home, even if they're not best friends, that they find
Yep.
comfort in that. We're just
Yep.
testing it out, seeing how it goes. They had their second interaction today, and Louis bit Mr. Macaulay's tail. So I'm not sure how it's going to go. I was told that is normal and that macaws are like the jocks in the hallway in high school. So we'll see.
No, it is. We got an Indian ringneck and we absolutely loved him. We was going to adopt him and keep him, but the fights were ridiculous, not between Gizmo and him, but between our Jende Konya. She absolutely hated him.
She hated him.
We tried everything because we were so in love with him. And he came from a really bad background too. He was just a breeder's bird. So he just had to breed for 7 years solid. We wanted to take that away. And he was with us for a good few months until he was ready because he was caged too. We found him the perfect home. And then you realize, okay, this is so rewarding. Not every bird will fit into your life, yours and Lou's lifestyle, but there will be one that does. And you can keep rescuing and help him find another home because right fit.
Thank you for giving me some hope.
Yeah, you're doing
Thank
amazing.
you.
What are some of the negative comments that you've seen?
There's always comments on how I'm dressed or what I'm doing. But as far as Louie, everyone wants to know why he's naked and, oh my gosh, you got another bird and your one bird is already plucked. You obviously don't know what you're doing. He deserves to be a bird. Why are you making him do these circus tricks? And my response, if I even respond, is normally, one, I am not making him do these tricks. He is begging me to do these tricks.
100%.
But being a bird does not mean just sitting on a perch in my living room all day long. Being a bird means using your brain, working for food. There are studies that show animals in general enjoy working for their food more than just it being handed to them. It's exciting. It's a shot of dopamine. I'm trying to keep his brain active. On the flip side of that, other people have been, wow, you really inspired me to start training my bird. He just sits there and I didn't know that they were capable of doing these things. It's inspired some other people to start stimulating their bird in that way. It's always, they belong in the wild. And yes, they do. I agree.
Agree.
I'm not going to fight with you on that.
I think social media is a powerful tool for using it to bond with your parrot because making content, you go above and beyond to create fun environments and do interesting things. So I think there's a lot of positivity in that. The reason why I bring it up is because some people might want to be making content with their parrot, but you have to be aware you're going to get hate and to not take it seriously. We get some all the time. We've had people say, oh, I want to come shoot Gizmo. I want to kill him. The comparing birds is very common. So-and-so is a better bird. Your bird sucks.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
I was like, really?
Roasting and eating Louie, which I feel like some of
Oh,
them
yeah.
are like lighthearted because he does look like a rotisserie chicken, but some of them I don't think are very nice. But
Yeah.
Beak gets a lot of comments, which his beak is not well maintained because he came to me with a very overgrown beak. It's scissored. It was overgrown to the point where now the vets can't just take it all off. They can only
Exactly.
trim it so short and then it has to stay long. Everybody's an expert on beak care and
Yep.
your bird beak trim. I've taken him to 3 different vets and they will not make it any shorter.
I didn't realize that we had an expert level vet in here. Can you send your number? I'd love to call it. You know, like just things like that because people are always an expert online. I'm sure if we were in a room together, they wouldn't even come and speak to us.
Right. The flip side to that is there's an exotic vet that has gotten a pretty big following and her and I follow each other and she was, hey, there might be a surgery I could do to make Louie be able to spread his wings again. There's not a ton of hope to it, but she was like, I'm going to do some research and see what the success rate of that is. And without social media, I would never have come into contact with somebody. I've taken him to 3 different vets and nobody's ever said anything like that. There are definitely upsides to social media too.
Oh, 100%. We're big advocates on social media. For one, the community that we have, we've made some lifelong friends through it, sharing stories that you can't get from your local areas of people that have experienced things because parrots are so vast and different. They're not all the same. So
Yep.
being able to share a story and finding somebody maybe across the world that had that exact same experience and share their knowledge, and the vets reaching out and saying, hey, there's some research that I'm doing that maybe your vets in your area have never thought about. There's so many more positives, and we just have to handle the negative stuff and figure out how to create a better online experience for them.
And you just don't take things to heart because the moment you do that, they've won. I used to take a lot of things to heart. What do you think would be the future on social media with you and Louie and maybe Mr. Macaw?
Macaulay?
Mr. Macaulay. That's a good question. I thought about that because I'm coming up on the year mark of having posted once daily every day, which
Wow.
is absurd to me. Whenever I first made his page, I never thought that I would have enough content to post daily. It does bring me some anxiety now that I've had this streak. I don't want to break it. I don't really know where it goes. I have told myself as long as I have stuff to share, I'll share it. I'm sure I'm going to slow down at some point. You also get to a point where you're like, oh, I feel like I've already shared this enough. Who else would want to see Louie doing the same game? Which apparently a lot of people still want to see Louie doing the same game. I have always said that my retirement plan is I would want to own a bird rescue. That's how I decided to get Louie is okay, I'm not retired and not have enough for that many birds, but I could take on 1. And here I am with 2. I'm spending enough time in rescue now. I'm like, I don't think I can do that. My anger with people, it really can sour you to the world, how horrible people
Sure.
can be. So I don't know if that would be great for my mental health. Being able to use Louie's page as an advocate for rescue and being able to highlight different rescue stories, I think that's ultimately where I see it going.
I love that.
That's amazing. And that's exactly the same direction we're going. You have the privilege of having a big platform and then you can go either way. We've chose to do good with the platform we have now.
I think you'll figure it out. You can have an end game goal, but you just have to live day by day. Making content every day, hats off, because it is not easy.
We have not done that.
people who look at content creators or parrot owners or posting content, they think from an outside perspective, oh, what an easy thing to do. You have such an easy life. It is one of the hardest jobs on the entire planet. You're the editor, you're the director. And also we're dealing with something that we can't control. We're filming content today. Be on your best behavior. It's a challenging job. It's definitely rewarding, exciting, and I'm really grateful for your content. We really enjoy watching it ourselves. We're grateful that Louie now has a forever home and hopefully through all of our content, we can inspire people to do their research and limit the rescues that are going in and hopefully be able to inspire rescues coming out. We have our Squawk Shop store, which we sent Louie some gifts. Our Squawk Shop mission statement is we hope to be out of business forever. We hope that one day we never have to make toys for parrots. And the manufacturers out there are like, I'm not giving you toys now because you're trying to end my business. But that's our statement. We hope one day to enjoy them from afar where they belong. Unfortunately, the world is cruel and it's going to probably continue. We at least advocate to just please rescue. There's thousands of birds out there that need homes, just like Louie and Gizmo and Mr. Macaulay. Continue advocating for that. And then to end this, we put together some rapid fire questions. Nothing crazy. Because Louie's a macaw, when is he the most loud?
He is the most loud whenever I get home. He whistles really loud and screams when he sees my Jeep pull in the driveway.
His favorite treat.
Pistachio.
Very cool. Favorite type of toy? Like shredding, chewing, bells?
Soft woods.
Does he like his bath, yes or no?
Yes, but it takes at least 4 to 10 minutes to get in the mood. He we all of the hot water before he actually gets in.
Is he more cuddly or more independent?
Cuddly.
Is there something that he hates?
Vacuum cleaner.
Gizmo loves it.
He wants me to vacuum his beak.
But then we had this little toy. Well, it's not a toy. It's just a little black object. Absolutely petrified of it.
Growl, scared. I'm like, really?
It's a
But when I
vacuum
turn the
thing.
vacuum on, yeah.
Does it make him want to take a bath? I've heard
Yes.
that vacuums.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Louie, he sees red and just tries to attack it.
I could just suck his beak up with the hose. He's so weird. Most common mood, like chaos, sweet, dramatic.
Probably chaos. He runs around on the floor, on the table. I say he looks like a little old drunk man. He's always running, never in a straight line. It's just like, where can I find the nearest treat, or begging for a treat in some way. Very food motivated.
What is his most iconic or your favorite sound he makes?
He just started saying I love you a little bit more consistently.
I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you.
That gets to me. I really like it whenever we are sitting together and he does his little beak chatters and it sounds like kisses. So he goes up to me and does that. And then sometimes he'll come up and he'll blow out of his nose and go. It's just a very cute little noise, but he's doing it intentionally at me. And I think that's adorable.
I love that.
We haven't done it for a while, but we have an online flock where Gizmo will go live with other birds. They can hear each other and they've all begun to know each other. They know their owners' voices. If there's a day, one day we can organize you to come in. But
Yeah,
it's so
I
much
think that'd
fun
be
for
cool.
It's
them.
I don't
really
know if
fun.
he would realize it or not, but it would be interesting to see his reaction to that.
Sometimes we face the camera to Gizmo, but most of the time he can't see them, but he hears them and Gizmo knows when we're live and he knows when
Yeah.
we're recording. I don't know how he knows that. It's been amazing. And then they've all picked up each other's staple things.
Are they all
Gizmo
greys?
he's not the best influence, I would say.
They're not all grays.
No, not all greys. Not all greys. We've had some macaws.
We have had some macaws.
Yep.
Yep. Join us. We've had all kinds of.
Every single parrot. We just got so busy, but we used to do it nearly every night. People look forward to it, and we had so many boxes with all these different birds, and then Gizmo would get annoyed, so we had to scale it down just to his friends because he's just like,
It's very interesting seeing how they react online.
yeah.
What is something that you would want to leave somebody listening to this today?
I think we've probably beat this like a dead horse, but birds are such difficult pets to have. Even the happiest bird in captivity, I don't believe, is as happy as a bird that has never lived in captivity. Even if your bird has a cage-free life and it free roams around your house, it shouldn't be stuck in your house. If there's any way we can prevent another bird from having to live this life, it is not supporting breeders, not supporting pet stores. And if you really want to live with one of these special little creatures, go volunteer. Try and form a bond with a bird at a rescue before taking it home. Clean cages, do all of the things that you would have to do, and see if you think you could actually deal with that bird that can be as loud as a police siren in your living room.
No, that's amazing. I just love that we are completely on the same page on everything. Even the start of our story and the social media success, everything is very similar, and I can resonate with you so much.
Thanks for having me on. It was
No,
so good to
thank
meet
you for being on. Tell everybody where they can find you. Obviously, we're going to drop links and we're going to have it on screen of
Yes.
who you are, but tell us where we can watch you.
Louie has a YouTube, a TikTok, an Instagram, and now even a Facebook. And he is at No Plucks Given, which the little old ladies at the hospital where I work, there are some volunteers that save the newspapers, and I come and pick them up to bring them to the rescue. That's another thing. If you get newspapers, save them and donate them to your local rescue.
Love
Anyways, they were
Yes.
asking about Louie, and I gave them my social media, and she goes, "Oh, no plucks given. Now, what does that mean?" I was like, "Oh,
that.
I've never had to explain that before."
I love it.
When you put that in, were you shocked that was available? Because I feel like that's such a good name.
Yeah, I tried a lot of different things, like I don't give a pluck, that type of stuff. And then whenever I finally found that, I was like, oh my God, and on all platforms. So
Right?
we looked up that one.
Thank you, Kelsey,
Thank
for
you.
your time, and give Louie some scritches from us. Thank you so much for watching our first episode of Squawk Global.
And a huge shout out to Louie and Kelsey for trusting us with their story. And this is really important for these stories to be out there.
Stories like this deserve to be heard. The good, the bad, and everything in between.
This is just the beginning, and we're going to be bringing real conversations with exotic vets,
Rescue stories,
educators in all shapes of the bird life.
and the unfiltered realities of parrot life.
If you have a powerful, heartbreaking, inspirational, funny bird story, please drop it in the comments.
We want to hear from more community members just like you.
And if this episode hits you in the feels,
Leave Louie and Mom some love in the comments.
thank you, and we'll be back soon.